land that counter right. That's not you. You go to work. You're only going to be in this sport for so long, but when you're in that ring, you go to work. I love it. Lee. He's careless and he's controlled at the same time.
Yeah, but he's fun.
Oh,
it's
Lee.
Fun, watchable style.
He knows how to engage. He doesn't know how to counter, but the guy throws these punches, and almost every time he comes at you, it's a power angle. It's an angle that's going to hurt. He's going to be scary for anyone with the shoulder roll. I guarantee you that. This is not going to be an easy fight if Spence thinks he's just going to go and do the little jab right hand off of the ropes all night. Don't sleep on Sean Porter in that fight with Spence. Spence has been fighting C-level opponents for so long. What has Porter been fighting? The A-list that the PBC offers. He's been fighting them all.
There you go. It's good.
Yeah, I love that fight. I love the fight for Porter. Spence, you know what? I'm getting a little over this kid. First, you fight Carlos Ocampo or whoever the hell that was after the Kell Brook. You should have stepped up in competition after Kell Brook, but you don't. You take 2 more loser fights. And then you're talking about fighting Mikey Garcia. I don't know what happened to this fight, even though Mikey's a freaking lightweight, nowhere near your level. So you dust him off. Now you think, let's go after the 2 best in the welterweight division, right? We're going to say Keith Thurman and Terrence Crawford, or actually vice versa, Terrence Crawford, Keith Thurman. These are the 2 best. Who does this kid jump in the ring for? The people that right now in the boxing world says is the less of all the champions, Sean Porter. I'm just trying to figure out who Spence is. Is he looking for PBC checks or is he looking for legacy? Because, see, this guy Terrence Crawford that's in your division, he was the undisputed junior welterweight champ, moved up and knocked out the WBO champ in 9 rounds. Undefeated WBO champ. He's been calling you out for like 2 months. And a matter of fact, he called him out last night. And then last night, Terrence Crawford said, LOL to Spence Jr. Yeah, you was drunk last night, boy. You were in no way, shape, the A side, dummy. You talking about who I beat, everyone you beat, I will smash. And how many titles in different weight classes have you won? I'll wait. Terrence Crawford has been chasing Spence for at least 2 fights now, right? He's been asking for it. I don't even hear Spence talking about him. When Crawford's in the ring, why aren't you sitting ringside? You two are supposed to be the best. With Keith Thurman, and God, Keith Thurman's such a fucking disappointment. The guy, did you see what he tweeted last night, Lee? The guy tweets a picture with Spence Jr. and says, if you can't beat him, join him. What? I don't know what happened to Keith, but such a disappointment. So throw him to the side. Terrence Crawford to Spence, that's it. That's all I want to see. Terrence is calling you out. Where's your response to him?
Feel better?
Yeah, that's it.
You've had coffee, haven't you?
Yeah, this is my 2nd cup, just went down.
Wow.
And actually it's 3 cups because it's the 7-Eleven large. So
I shot my load on the whole Harold Lederman impersonation. I'm out of gas mentally.
I wanted that Spence thing out there because too many times we get these PBC guys and this is another one thing that I'm starting to hate is he's the most feared man in boxing. HBO uses this way too much. They use this on the PBC guys way too much. Let me tell you guys why. There's no one for these fuckers to fight. So when they're fighting a showcase or they're fighting some bum that no one can talk about, you got to have an excuse. Oh, he's the most feared fighter in the sport. Shut up. You know how many most feared fighters HBO has said in the last few years?
You know who the most feared fighter in sports is? I'm going to call it right now. It's Anthony Joshua. And I'm going to tell you why. He's a very large man who can box, and he has great cardio. There's nobody, you can't use the term repeatedly for multiple fighters. There's only one. There's only one Mike Tyson at a time in boxing. There's only one Brock Lesnar. There's only one Anthony Joshua. You know why they're badasses? Because they're big dudes. Those are the most feared men.
Sergey Kovalev was the most feared man in the sport. What happened to him? Triple G was the most feared man in the sport. What happened to him in his last 2 fights? Lomachenko. You know, the list goes on. Chocolito, gets beaten by some nobody.
He's the most feared man in the sports today.
I think he's ranked 2nd pound for pound, Jim. Fucking HBO.
That
Juan
takes us
Estrada.
to,
Juan Estrada just lost his last fight. Guess what they say in the opening round? He's the most feared man in boxing.
We'll talk a few news items before we get you ready for next weekend. That is the feature story. It is next week. That is all there is to talk about. And how little HBO talked about it is almost staggering.
I want to know, what I would ask Cal Brooks.
Let's do other news first.
Okay. I had one question for you.
All right.
When they removed his eyeball, was it detached from his brain? Put it on a...
It's like on a cord.
His forehead, right? They
Yeah.
Okay.
You just move it to the side. There's a long cord back there. You just, you get a twisty tie and you stick it back in. I don't know. I'm not a fucking eye surgeon, Andrew. How the fuck would I know?
I'm just trying to give people...
Do you want me to Google eye surgery and look at an eye out of the socket?
No, but I want them to...
I think it's a pretty long... I think you can attach and reattach and do that
for
shit.
anybody that uses the Kell Brook scenario in these two, you just picture in your head the doctor removing a man's eyeball and placing it on a table and saying, we'll get back to that later. Fuck out of here. He's not the same. He's not seeing 20/20 anymore.
All right, what news items do you want to hit on before we talk about it?
Terrence Crawford, Jose Benavidez was announced. Going to happen in Nebraska. Both undefeated fighters. Both have been jawing at each other. These are both top-ranked dudes.
Yep.
Benavidez. Go ahead, Lee.
No, yes, I agree.
Yeah. Benavidez is coming back from a gunshot wound. Believe he was jogging, was hit somewhere in...
by Terrence Crawford.
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't it? It's like a pro wrestling angle. Who shot him? Crawford.
I
got rid of my gunshot effect. No, sad. I had it up on the screen. I don't. All I have is this. Okay, cool. All right, go ahead.
So Jose Benavidez is really unknown, right? I gotta give him that. He's unknown. He hasn't really proved himself. He's undefeated. He's with top rank. That makes him a prospect. But going up against the pound for pound king, I don't give him much of a chance. So we'll see who Jose is during this fight. But yes, Terrence Crawford has announced his next one.
There you go. Any other news you'd like to address from the past week before we get to the lack of news about one of the biggest rematches in boxing history?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
All right. Before we start, please visit fightnetradio.com. We'll keep you up to date. We'll drop every story that seems to be pertinent in regards to Triple G versus Canelo. That's right. How are you going to get there to see Triple G and Canelo, Andrew? You go to LasVegasDiscount.net and you book your trip right now. It's an expensive weekend out there. I actually investigated Airbnb. The prices were so bad. I actually debated it. But then I went on LasVegasDiscount.net, Andrew, and I got a 5-star hotel for half price. That was
very nice. Yeah, very good.
No, Andrew, that's where you're supposed to jump in and go, yeah, that's fucking where it's at, bro. Use Las Vegas.
I just said very nice.
I don't know. I don't think you're buying into this fight, Andrew. I'm just telling you. I'm not.
Oh, no, I am.
I'm not feeling it out of you. You're not here with me.
I'm definitely interested in the first bell ringing on Canelo Triple G 2. Lee, I'm telling you, I'm a little bit nervous on calling this fight. I don't know where to go yet. Been watching the 24/7s.
I'll help you. It's easy. So let's start with for those of you wondering, we're not going to give you a pick until Friday. It's just not going to happen. So let's talk about what's really interesting, and it's been interesting on our social media page as well, right? Let's start with the photo that appeared from 1 year ago when he was on clenbuterol as compared to what he looks like right now.
Yeah. Yeah,
Dude.
I know. Lee,
who was it that made the comment, I'm not injecting the meat?
Estrada. Yeah, he says, I eat.
What a great line.
I eat beef. I don't inject it.
I don't inject it. Wow.
Yep.
What a slap. And I agree with him, by the way. If you look at those photos, that is not from a dude eating tanked up meat.
And I'm telling you something else, you guys. If you match this photo with his 154-pound photos, boy, are they similar now.
Yeah, they are. There's no way you can hydrate and rehydrate. I realize he's probably young enough Andrew, he's probably young enough that he can get away with what he just did to his body. But what we're talking about is inflating and oversaturating the muscles with a lot of fluid, right? And if you look at the photos of him now, he looks physically deflated. Physically deflated.
Oh. Yes,
and he's got to go into that fight physically deflated. I'm sure he'll make weight, but that's so hard on the body.
He might turn back into the Canelo that starts gassing in the late rounds. Remember, that was Canelo's problem.
He's going to get knocked out, dude. Let's all come to a grip of reality right now.
We won't do it yet until I see Golovkin and how he looks at 36 years of age on that 160 scale. So I'm gonna hold off on it, but I'm telling you, I don't like what I'm seeing out of the Canelo camp, people. And I told you, Eddie should have came out, or the Reynosos should have came out already and said we went for a smaller Canelo because we're going to beat him in 12 rounds.
Right. We want speed. We want whatever.
Yes.
Whatever.
Yes,
bullshit. Instead, they're doing we look great. We're
he's cut. Motherfucker, he is not cut.
He looks deflated. He looks like somebody stuck a pin in him.
Well, 1 year ago, he looked cut. Lee, I remember we were like, how did 6 pounds do this? Like, wow.
Dude,
154.
He looked bad. He looked... I don't get me wrong. He looks great, and I'm a fat fuck, so... But I always like people who do he doesn't look good. He looks good, but he doesn't look boxing good. He looks, you know what he reminds me of? Of like Chavez Jr. when he was cutting all that weight.
He looks like a Mexican cutting weight. Mexicans never ripped.
Yeah.
Hey, how many times did Eric Morales and Barrera get on that, or even Chavez get on that scale, and they just look flat, not flabby, but not ripped. You know what I'm saying?
It's called skinny fat.
Yeah, and then they go in there and they knock your ass out. I mean, that's what it used to be. And then you start getting these guys that, Juan Manuel Marquez in his 4th meeting with Pacquiao looks like he has a 6-pack. I mean, Fernando Vargas was clearly on roids. And then you got Canelo, man. And everyone knew it. Everybody
How is
knew.
Nobody buying that he was, like, is there anybody who doesn't believe that he was taking steroids now, injecting them? Except Oscar, who is clearly in denial.
Yeah, this is Oscar's one moment right here. He really needs this fight. If he doesn't win this, I think he's coming back. It's going to be
what else does Oscar have on the roster?
Not too much. There's not too much. That Ryan Garcia kid, he's a little bit of ways. You know what I mean? Like if Canelo, Jaime Mungai, the 154-pounder, little bit of ways. These are potential hitters, but no, they're not ready to take over Canelo's spot. I mean, last night, if anyone noticed, they showed Jaime in the crowd. Not one Mexican cheered out there. It's like they didn't even know the kid. If you noticed on the PBC card, every time they showed Jarrett Hurd, they showed the Charlo brothers, they showed Javante Davis, drunk as fuck. That kid is going to have a short career. Every time I see him, he's drunk. Last night, he even slapped a fan's phone right out of his hands. I was trying to take a picture of him. Kid's just a real nutcase. I don't see his career lasting too long.
I'm looking forward to seeing him next Saturday. Let's hope that he's drunk during the day.
Yeah, no.
If he takes a swing at me,
they were all the best. Hey, Robert Easter was drunk. Javante Davis, I think one of the Charlos, they were just acting a fool. They were out there, being young and rich, I guess, but not really holding up the PBC at a high standard.
Well, nobody was holding the PBC to a high standard. If you looked at that ring, it's everybody making sure that that they're also promoters last night. Like that was a heavy TMT co-promotion.
It's just a heavy. It always is, isn't it?
Lately, it has been, and I think it's the fallback plan for the collapse of the PBC.
Well, let's give them a little bit of credit. They finally struck a deal where they're going to get paid. The Fox just gave the Al Heyman $60 million for this next season. Now, when there's people, this thing is everyone said it was going to fail. Everyone said it was going to fail.
$60 million's not enough.
And Lee, when your investors put almost $500 million into that portfolio, do you really think they're happy about a $60 million return?
No.
Is that a win?
It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke.
So yes, they made 60 million off of Fox. That's great. They're going to have more fights on national television, even though it really hasn't